Do you think we'll see an interest rate rise this year?
Perhaps, but this raises a very interesting question. Why is the Federal Reserve manipulating interest rates in the first place? Manipulating or controlling interest rates is a form of price controls. We know price controls deform markets. Interest is the price that borrowers and lenders pay. Borrowers pay to lenders. It's the price of borrowing money, like rent control, price you pay for borrowing the apartment. And by manipulating interest rates, the Fed has deformed the credit markets, where money goes to bonds, not to small and new businesses.
You're a media mogul. What do you think of the media's handling of Trump? Some blame the media and say, well, he got where he is because the media just, had a frenzy over him. And whereas Donald Trump's very critical of the media, saying that they're not on his side. How do you see it?
Well, the media's treatment of Trump pales in comparison to the media's treatment of the last 7.5 years of Barack Obama. They've given him a bye on a lot of things. Even when the news is bad for Obama, they cover it and then they don't repeat it. What hurts somebody in public life is the repetition of a story or a theme. Never happened with Obama. So Trump, if you thought he got good media treatment, wait until he wins the nomination. They're all in the pocket, not all, but many of them are in the pockets of Hillary Clinton.
What do you think is the main difference in the Republican Party today than when you ran in '96 and 2000?
Well, in addition to the players, I think, and the huge gains the Republicans have made, especially in the state legislatures around the country, I think the party's in a fluid state right now. Fortunately, I think the pro-tax reform, cutting tax rates is still there. I think there's a recognition, which you'd have had 20 years ago, that the healthcare system needs drastic reform, positive pro-patient, pro-free market reform. And so the real critical issue is what's going to happen in terms of trade. And it's one thing to enforce trade abuses, there are remedies there, and quite another to blow up all our agreements. So that's the big question mark.
Finally, thoughts on gold. I know you've liked gold in the past. How do you see the metal now, especially in these times, these very uncertain times?
Well, gold is an insurance policy against turmoil and against governments misbehaving towards a currency. I was surprised by the rise of gold this year, given the Federal Reserve's attitude in terms of starving credit to small and new businesses. So I think the thing to remember about gold is gold keeps its intrinsic value. When you see the price change, that's people's perceptions of currencies.
You say you're surprised by gold's rise. What about the stock market's rise? Are you surprised it's this high right now?
A little bit, but the stock market reflects big companies. Most businesses don't have $50, $100 billion, $10 billion in sales. So, and the credit markets, the Fed have made credit markets very favorable to big business, giving them subsidized credit at the expense of small and new businesses. So the question now for the stock market, I don't see much room for the market to go up until earnings turn around. Earnings have been on a plateau for 1.5 years. And that's why the market, until very recently, was on a plateau. It had some ups and downs, but was really treading water. And the other thing to look at is something like the Russell 2000 index. Small cap companies, they have not done very well compared to big cap companies. And so the market is, that's a sign of a mature phase of a bull market.
So how do you best protect yourself?
Retirement money, leave it alone. Continue to make your contributions. Don't try to time the market because you'll get whipsawed. If you're a budding Buffett with your non-retirement money, I think this market still has got a more room to ride for big cap stocks, but I'd be looking for special situations.
Steve Forbes, always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you
nice
so
to see
much
you.
for
Thank
coming
you.
on. Author of Reviving America, get your copy. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have more coverage for you on Kitco.com. Be sure to stay tuned.